Are you ready to make over your tennis backhand? Let's turn it into the solid, confident shot you've always dreamed of. This 5-day training program will make that a reality, but only if you follow along and put in the reps. Welcome back to day 2 of the 5 Days to Your Best Backhand series. Today, our primary focus will be on training efficient footwork patterns. As in video 1, we'll be building on level of difficulty through intentional progressions. Footwork is so incredibly important because even if you have the best technique in the world, it doesn't matter if you're not able to move to the ball smoothly and calmly in all situations. To lay the groundwork, you'll see me first practicing a split step, pivot, and unit turn of my upper body. Notice that I'm loading on my outside leg as I pivot. This sets you up with a solid, strong base to both move from and swing from once that ball arrives. I know it can feel weird to practice the split step in a shadow swing, but the truth is hardly any amateur players use one as compared to 100% of professionals, and it's a critical part of good tennis movement. When you do this drill, be sure that you're taking the racket back with your body, as I demonstrate, instead of with your hands, which is a hugely common mistake. As we move on to drill 2, we're going to break down the footwork pattern for when you move out to a ball along the baseline. I start again with the split step, pivot, and unit turn, but then I point my toes in the direction that I'll be moving to the ball so that I can take a few steps to get in position. Once in position, I step forward to the ball with my inside leg. For righties, that's your right leg. For lefties, that'll be your left leg. The benefit of this square stance is having the ability to actively transfer momentum forward. To help facilitate that, I'm pivoting around as I make my shadow swing to allow my body to turn through the shot, catching my momentum on my outside foot, and then shuffling laterally back to the middle of the baseline. If the pivot through your swing feels weird, at first feel free to segment it. If you don't train efficient movement patterns like this ahead of time, then the tendency is to reach and lunge for short balls, which completely takes away your ability to take advantage of them. Next, I'm going to practice the same setup but with an open stance. Note that I start this drill slowly as I did the ones before, then I segment each position before making the pattern flow seamlessly. And it's not until I feel really comfortable that I start trying to increase my foot speed. If you're not used to open stance, then this can feel really foreign, so let me walk you through it quickly. As you swing, you'll want to drive up and out toward the ball with your loaded outside foot. After contact, you'll first touch down with that outside foot and then plant your inside foot to stop your momentum. That leaves you right back in a ready position so you can shuffle back to the middle. Becoming comfortable with this footwork pattern is critical to using the open stance and having the ability to hit powerful shots from wide positions on the baseline. Here's a quick tip. In your training, it's always a good idea to use video to analyze what you are actually doing with your footwork. And speaking of training, if you want to make the most out of every practice, make sure to download a copy of our free backhand worksheet so you can have a step-by-step guide to these drills on your phone or tablet. Simply click the link in the description or go to 5daybackhand.com. Now on to drill 4, where we'll add one last step that can be a real game changer in boosting foot speed because of how highly efficient it is. We'll continue using the same moves as in drill 3, but now I'm really spicing it up at the end. I split, pivot, and unit turn, take a few steps, get into my square stance, and shadow swing just as before. But then I practice bringing my outside leg around so that it's in line with my inside leg. For righties, that back leg that comes around is the left leg. For lefties, it's the right. Now here's the key. Once I'm in this position where my body's parallel to the net, I take that outside leg and cross it in front of the other leg before finishing my recovery with a shuffle. Once I've gone through the motions of correctly shadowing the pattern, I'm going to add a ball into the equation by drop feeding to myself. I know that when you're shadowing, this drill can feel a little hitchy, so being able to hit the ball really helps me feel the flow of the pattern much easier because the crossover step is so dependent on the use of momentum going into the shot. For drill 5, we'll be practicing the previous option but in an open stance. This open stance is extremely advantageous for wide shots because it allows you to load your body powerfully without fully closing yourself off to the net, which is what a huge percentage of amateur players do when hitting on the run. As a result, I'm able to smoothly catch my balance in a wide stance and then quickly recover back to the middle of the baseline by starting with a crossover step and then transitioning to shuffling. When I've shadowed enough to really have the pattern down, I drop feet to myself again. This footwork pattern is the Grand Poobah, the heavyweight champ, or as we like to call it in Wisconsin, the big cheese. Train it well and your backhand results will improve. Drill 6 features a more defensive footwork pattern which hardly any amateur players train, but it's critical to your success on the baseline when moving backwards. After split stepping, I pivot back onto my left foot to set my stance in a position where I can athletically move for a deep ball. That is, as opposed to leading with the heels, which is slow and leaves the body in a weak position to hit. After the pivot, I cross over with the right leg like a quarterback going back for a pass, and then load and rotate around the left leg for the swing. After contact, you'll want to catch your balance on both feet and then recover back to the middle of the baseline. Definitely feel free to segment this at first if it's pretty foreign, as it is to most players, and it's pretty dynamic as well. Once I'm able to drop feed to myself, I hit with lots of topspin and height over the net, which is what we'll be focused on in the next video in day 3 of this series. The next drill's a fun one. Now I'm going to focus on practicing my response to a ball that's landing well short of the baseline where I have an opportunity to attack. After making my unit turn, I use 2 different footwork patterns to move forward. One is a crossover step with my left foot, and the other is a smooth shuffle step. Both lead me into a square stance swing that transfers my momentum through the point of contact and then into a forward pivot to allow my body to turn powerfully. If you're looking for more advice on backhand power, just wait until day 5 of this backhand series. It's coming up. After the swing, I cross over with my left foot to quickly recover for the next shot. Of course, you could also choose to follow the shot forward offensively to the net and use it as an approach. Totally up to you. Go ahead and click the videos to move forward or back in this 5-day training series. If the next day isn't available yet, be sure to subscribe and click that bell so you can catch it as soon as it goes live. Thanks for watching.